Where does the Nation of Islam flag come from? According to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam flag represents freedom, justice, and equality. It also represents the sun, moon, and the stars. And you can see in the picture on the right here that the Detroit Free Press released a photo of the Detroit police raiding the University of Islam on April 17, 1934. And the FJEI are there on the flag, as you can see in the original picture. And that also represents, of course, freedom, justice, equality, the I representing Islam. This blurb over here is quoting Message to the Black Man, page 144. We also learned from the 1951 Hatem Sahib thesis that the Nation of Islam flag was called the flag of our ancestors. It's been there since the dawn of history. It was the flag of all the civilizations that the dark man had built. And of course, that the Caucasians, because of their envy of the darker people, had killed the ancestors of the dark race 4 centuries ago, and they had taken off their flag. When Mr. Farad Muhammad came, he brought the flag back to them because it was hidden in the White House in Washington, and that even Truman wears this flag. Now, Truman did indeed wear a fez with a crescent moon and a star. This was the fez of the Shriners. The Shriners are a Freemason fraternity. Not every Mason is a Shriner, but every Shriner is a Mason. You had to be a 32-degree Mason in order to join the Shriners, and they would use Arabic and Muslim themed clothing and rituals. So you can see here that, yes, indeed, he would have this with a red fez, this white crescent moon and star, very similar to the Nation of Islam flag. As it turns out, when we ask the question of where this comes from, this came from the Young Turks Revolution flag. On the right, you have the Young Turks Revolution flag. It has the words Hurriyat, Adalat, Musawat, Ukhuwat, and Ittihad. That's freedom, justice, equality. And instead of Islam, it's Ukhuwat, which means brotherhood, and Ittihad, which means unity. So this was from 1908. It wasn't from the dawn of time. This wasn't the flag of all of darker people's ancestors, but rather this was an early 20th century Turkish flag with the same words, freedom, justice, and equality, but without that word Islam. And of course, the crescent moon and the star have been reversed. There were other organizations in 1933. Of course, Abdul Muhammad was a minister under Master Farad Muhammad, and he had split from the Nation of Islam, and he had joined Major Takahashi, who was a reported major of the Imperial Japanese military at that time. And they had created the Society for the Development of Our Own, the SDOO. This is from Carl Evans' book, The Messenger, page 127. They had created their own organization, which also had a flag. It was a white star and crescent moon on a red background. But instead of FJEI, Freedom, Justice, Equality, and Islam, it had FJEL, meaning Freedom, Justice, Equality, and Liberty. Again, changing the last word from the Young Turks Revolution flag. Now, of course, FJEL, they would later take the L by ceasing to exist while the Nation of Islam persists to this day. Thank you for checking out the video. I hope you learned something, and I bid you all farewell. Assalamu alaikum.